Hello, today we're going to work on finding decimals on the number line. In these first two problems, we're going to use this number line to help us answer the questions. Now, the first thing I want you to look at the number line is look and see what is given to us. They gave us 0, they gave us 1/2, and they gave us 1. So notice this number line is from 0 to 1, and all these points A, B, C, and D lie between the two whole numbers 0 and 1. Now, 1/2 is the same as 5/10. And 5/10 is the same or equivalent to 50/100. And 50/100, 5/10, 1/2 can all be represented as the decimal 5/10. Now, when I'm labeling my number line, I'm actually going to label it as 5/10 because I see my two questions and I notice that they're given in decimal form. So I feel like if I label my number line with decimals, it might make it a little bit easier for me when I'm answering these two questions. So right underneath 1/2, I'm going to write 5/10, which now if I wanted to break this number line into 10 equal pieces, and then I could label 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10. It might help me really answer these questions. So here I have 1/10. It's really hard to draw this, but I will try my best. 1/10. Wow, A is right about at 2/10. 3/10. And then B is going to be 4/10. Wow, B is right on 4/10. 1/2 is the same as 5/10. Then I have 6/10. And I have 7/10. Wow, so C is right on 7/10. 8/10. And 9/10. Awesome. So now here's 9/10, and then I have 1. So notice this number line is now broken into 10 equal pieces. Now this is a problem that I highly recommend you rewrite this into your notebook and you use this and refer back to this number line during today's activities. So it says, which letter best represents the location of 4/10? Now the beauty of numbering my labeling and numbering my number line before even answering the questions, I can find 4/10 on this number line. And right over here is 4/10. And literally the letter above 4/10 or right on 4/10 is the letter B. So the answer to this question would just be the letter B. Now it says, which letter best represents the location of 92/100? Now, I don't see 92/100 on my number line, but I do see 9/10, which I know that 9/10 is equivalent to 90/100. And 90/100 is really, really close to 92/100. So even though D says 9/10, that was really, really close. Now we know that that's within that region, and that would be the best letter to represent 92/100. And 92/100 is only 2/100 away from 90/100 or 9/10. So D would be the best letter to represent 92/100. And notice there's no other letters that's anywhere near 92/100. Like C is on 7/10 or 70/100. That's pretty far away. So D would be the best letter to represent 92/100. Now for these next few problems, you're going to determine if the value shown is more, less, or equal to 1/2. So again, just like the last problem, we have 1/2, which equals 5/10, which is the same as 50/100. And notice again, these are all equivalent to one another. It's really important that we're starting to use that vocabulary. use the word equivalent to describe that two fractions or decimals are the same representation. So 50 hundredths is the same as 50 hundredths, which is the same as 5 tenths. Now I'm going to use that to help me represent and answer these questions. So here we have 34 hundredths. Is it going to be more, less, or equal to a half? So 34 hundredths. I have 34 hundredths, and then I also have 50 hundredths, which represents my half. Now, is 34 less or greater than 50? I believe 34 is much less than 50. So all I'm going to do is write less on my line. Now I have 52 hundredths. 52 hundredths is very, very close to 50 hundredths. However, 52 is a little bit larger than 50. Therefore, this is going to be more. And now I have 81 hundredths. 81 hundredths is much larger than 50 hundredths. Notice 81 is much larger than 50, so therefore 81 hundredths is much larger than 50 hundredths. Now my recommendation to you during today's activities is write all of this information down to help you, okay? Because this is going to help you represent and help you identify if these numbers are more, less, or equal to a half, especially giving you a reminder when you're using the number line as well that 1/2 is equivalent to 5 tenths to 50 hundredths. And that will really, really help you during today's activities.